Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, I've lost interest in things. Got an email here from a viewer, and he says, hey Corey, I see you are a life coach as well as a relationship expert. I'm a life and peak performance coach, and one of the things that I specialize in is pickup, dating, and relationship help. Because a lot of guys have a real issue in that area of their lives, but it's just one of the small things that I help people with. And he says, I'm in need of advice. I've been stuck the last several years taking care of my dad, who is turning 91 in 2 months. Since my mom passed away in 2007, I've lost interest in things. I've been out a couple of times, but I've had my heart handed to me again and again. Well, that tells me that whatever the strategy is that you're using to meet women or to date women or pick up women is not working. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So obviously the strategy that you're using sucks. And so you need to start applying the things that I talk about in my ebook and in the articles on my website and also my coaching video newsletters. He says, now I've turned cold to trusting women. I am also working at home at the moment, so I need a new outlook or a new attitude or something. He says, I recently turned 40, and from my buddies, they all said when they turned 40, they went crazy. I feel like I'm going nowhere. How much are your coaching sessions, and what do you suggest? Well, if you want to book a paid phone coaching session, you can go to my website, and on the top of your screen on any page, the products tab, click that, and just follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session, and the rates and everything are discussed there. He says, I think you're a pretty straightforward guy, so let me know what I should do, and I will take your advice. Well, here's the deal. A lot of guys go through that, the midlife crisis, whatever the fuck you want to call it, around the time they hit 20. And I mean, here's what happens. It's like when you're young, you grow up, you're in your early 20s, especially like when you go off to college. It's like your first time away from mom and dad, and you can come and go as you please. You can get up in the morning, you can choose to go to class, you can choose to go to work, whatever it is, or you can stay in bed and be a lazy ass. It's totally up to you. And I know, like in my early 20s, it was about partying and trying to hook up, trying to finish school, trying to figure out my next career move or when it was appropriate to start a business. And then so it's like towards your latter 20s and your early 30s, you tend to focus on your career. I know a lot of my friends had kids around that time, and I was dating a girl that had a little girl, and I helped her raise her daughter for a lot of years that was in her life. And so that's just like what people do. And so it's like the time they get to be around 40, there's some of them, especially if they started with having a family young, then their kids are kind of leaving and they're going off to college, and so you're dealing with being an empty nester. And it's also just appear like I know when I went through in my early 30s, I had achieved everything that I set out to do, and just way beyond whatever I thought I would accomplish when I was 18, and I had the world by the balls. And so I went through a major transformation. I would say like 2003, 2004, where I just really took a step back from my life, and I looked around at the people that were in my life. I looked at my business relationships that I had, and I just simply wasn't satisfied with the life that I had built. I just got to the point where basically I didn't have the same internal enthusiasm that I once had for the real estate, the mortgage, the construction industry. And that's what I had been doing all at that point. And when I took a step back to really consider and figure out what it was I wanted to do with my life, if I wanted to stay in real estate, and I wanted to, because there was some market, obviously this was before the crash in real estate happened, but it was already starting to affect our business. And so I was looking at changing our business model in order to stay in the business and stay profitable, or getting out of it and going and doing something completely different. And when I really took some time and I thought about it long and hard, because I always focus on what feels good to me. I always focus what's in my heart. I always trust my intuition and my curiosity, and it's never led me down the wrong path. And there's been plenty of times that things have been challenging to me, but in the long run, when I follow my heart and I move towards the things that I like and that feel good, that are emotionally compelling to me, then I'm willing to take action and do the things that I need to do. And so what I did is I took a step back and I looked at my life and how I was. I looked at my personality and where I was going, what I wanted to accomplish in the next 15, 20, 30, 40 years. And I came to the realization that it was time to get out of the real estate and mortgage business as a full-time career, and to get more into coaching and doing life coaching and helping people, because I was already doing that in my business. I got involved in my 20s mentoring at-risk kids, and so I was already a coach, and I didn't even really realize I was coaching the people that came to work for me, because I was hiring a lot of people right out of college, teaching them how to accomplish their goals, teaching them how to sell, teaching them how to be healthy, teaching them how to improve their relationships, because my whole life I've been dedicated just personally at being at my best by studying other successful people, the personal growth industry, things of that nature. And because of all the success that I had at such a young age and the position that I was at, I just decided that I simply wanted to do this full time. And so that's the direction that I started moving in. And I can understand you're at that age where it's like our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation. You basically you go to school and then you get married like right out of high school. You start a family, and that's typically what people did. And you work for the same company your whole life. Well, like my generation, it's like a lot of us, we end up changing jobs every 3 to 5 years. And I look at all the different things that I've done over the last 20, 25 years or so since I graduated high school, and I've gone through a tremendous amount of change. And the thing is that's different with me versus the average person is that when a job becomes dull, stale, or boring, I move on to the next job. If a relationship is not going where I want it to go, or I don't see myself with that person in 5 years or 10 years out, I'll go ahead and end that relationship, even though I might be totally in love. I might really adore this person, just because our values and our goals and our outcomes for our lives they're not going in the same direction. Those things happen. Sometimes that happens with business partnerships. But the average human being, when they encounter those feelings, when they're no longer happy doing what they're doing, they tend to just ignore it and stuff it down and act like it's not there. And as you age and you get older, you become more and more unhappy, and this also starts to create health problems in your life when you ignore your feelings, or you ignore the fact that you hate going to your job every day during the week. You got to do something that's emotionally compelling to you. And so for you and where you're at here, you got to find, and that's why I encourage you to book a phone coaching session, because I do this with a lot of guys, is to help them. I take them through a process to help them discover what their purpose is, what their real goals, what their real dreams are, the things that are emotionally compelling. Because if a big part of being successful with women is being successful, feeling like you're successful as a man at accomplishing the goals that you set for yourself, and also at creating the life and the lifestyle that you want for yourself. And so we have to find something that's emotionally compelling to you, something that's in your heart that you kind of always want to do, maybe something that you always want to do when you were a kid, but as you became an adult, you just thought, I don't have enough education to do that, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough connections, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not smart enough, I'm not in good enough shape. I mean, everybody's got a story that they tell themselves, and they bullshit themselves that I can't possibly accomplish it, I can't possibly do that, there's just no way that I could have a life like that. So we figure out what it is that you really want to do, something that's really emotionally compelling and really exciting to you, and then I help you start putting together a plan to accomplish it and figure it out. Because if you start doing something, because I mean, let's face it, most of your time is going to be spent doing either working in your business or working at a job. That's where you're going to spend the majority of your time. And if where you spend most of your time, if you're doing something you absolutely hate, you're never going to be good at it. And it's going to be really hard to be happy on a date with a girl when you're not excited about your life. If you're not excited about your life, how on earth are you going to possibly, when a woman asks you what you do or what are you about, and you say, my life totally sucks, I hate my fucking job, I mean, how do you expect her to get excited about your life? That's something to think about. So I encourage you to book a phone coaching session if you're at that place, you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, or you just kind of hit the wall and you're stagnant in your career, your business isn't going anywhere. Go to my website and click the products tab, which will be at the top of your screen. Follow the instructions and book a paid phone coaching session with me. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, go to my website, and on the right-hand column underneath the email sign-up box is a box that has a link that'll take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, on the right-hand side of the download page is a button you can click to download a free e-reader app for your smartphone, tablet device, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install it and complete the purchase of my book. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in my videos, you can show your appreciation by going to my website, and on the Wibbia toolbar, which will be at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.